Welcome to the Startempire Wire Founders Podcast, where we make entrepreneurial founders a top priority. Each episode features risk takers, business builders, community shapers, institutional and government supporters in our local startup ecosystem. Tune in weekly to hear all about what's happening with the movers and the shakers of Southern California's Inland Empire and beyond. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Founders Podcast. Today we are with a founder who you may or may not be aware of. Her name is Diane Strand from JDS Creative Academy in Temecula, California. Diane, I'm just gonna let Diane introduce herself and then we'll get into it. Go ahead, Diane.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. If I had to give, I guess, my formal introduction is I'm a serial entrepreneur, I'm a speaker, a best-selling author, and I'm a founder of a nonprofit, and that would be JDS Creative Academy. And we help make dreams come true by providing hope, because I truly believe that if you help one person every day, which is my acronym for HOPE, that good things, come of that. And through the nonprofit, which is all about the arts, I find that levels the playing field, and it's a really inclusive and diverse place to, definitely spearhead creativity and ingenuity and new business ideas.
Awesome. So, Diane, you came onto my radar when we wrote an article about the creative economy here in the Inland Empire. I shared that article with you, and it was a report that was done by the University of California, Riverside, that talks about, how the creative economies in California they're composed of different cities, and where different areas that are kind of lagging in the creative economy. So I sent you that article and we had a conversation about it, and we do plan on doing like a future follow-up, with more outreach or more input from you. But I would like to just kind of ask you a little bit more about JDS Creative Academy. Let's just start about like talking a little bit about yourself and tell us about, who you are and how did you get into entrepreneurship and all of that great stuff.
Well, that's a lot of questions right there. So let's kind of unpack some of those a little bit. How about that? So, yes. I love the article that you wrote. So going back to that, how it kind of brought us together in that article, because I'm a true believer, you got to get paid. You have to contribute to the economics in the industry. And being someone with a creative background, I'm a storyteller, and I want to be able to get paid for that. I started in this industry as an actor, and then found my way back in producing and becoming a line producer, making budgets, $1 million budgets for film and television shows. And, I had my day in Hollywood. I've worked on shows like Friends and General Hospital, and built the high def control room at Staples Center. And, but I knew that in this multi-billion-dollar industry, which is Hollywood or video, film, television, that kind of work, there's a piece of the pie, and how do you get a piece of the pie? And that's what we do here at the Creative Academy, in making those dreams come true and being able to reach for those goals and get paid in your creative, it used to be, oh, what do you want to do? I want to be an actor. And what's your backup job? Kind of thing. But that's not what we're about. You want to be an actor? You can get paid to be an actor, and we're going to train you and teach you so you learn a craft. It's a skill. Just like if you want to learn how to be a CPA, you got to go to school and you got to learn, and you got to do that to contribute to the economics. Same thing. You want to be an actor, you want to work on television and directing and a camera, you got to learn. And especially in my industry, I take it a step further for more inclusiveness. I work with adults with developmental disability. I work with mainstream too. Yes. But with adults with developmental disabilities, providing them a pathway, because this is an underserved community. Yeah. Or if they get work, they're doing maybe retail, janitorial kind of things, but they have passions and dreams, and they're very talented and creative. They just need a different way of learning. So I bring that to the table. We teach a hands-on method so they can learn. And now we're starting to place these adults with developmental disabilities into employment and paid internships. So now they're able to contribute to the economy. And isn't that the goal, to get them off of the social services and have them become payroll, tax abiding citizens? That's what we all want, is pay your bills to Uncle Sam, right? That's where it all comes down to. So, that's what we're working on. That's why I love the article that you wrote. It's really all about, the economics, and I put the economics. I just wrote a book. It's called Show Business. Really, the show is my husband and the business is me. But I'm a little bit of both, and you bring them together. And you want to be an actor, you got to get paid. You got to put. Everyone has to put food on the table and expensive gas in their car, and it's not something that you can just show up to and and it's free. And and I remember when I was starting my business, and people would say, well, it's just, can come for a couple hours with your camera. I'm like, oh, my $5,000 camera, you want me to come for free for that? Well, no, I can't.
Right. No, so you have to make money, and the starving artist is the whole thing that's put out there, being a starving artist. So it's good to get people, into the business side of it, and so I love what you guys are doing. So did you just start out, like, how did you start in this business? It might go way back, but tell us a little story.
Okay. Well, they always say you can't connect your dots looking forward. You have to look back to connect those dots. And the first dot that I can really connect back to is really my dot in second grade. In second grade, I was told I was dyslexic and I couldn't read. And then I wanted to be Betsy Ross in the school play. And they're like, but you can't read. I'm like, yeah, I can. I'll teach myself. And I did. I taught myself how to read, and I played Betsy Ross in the second grade. And the two other things that I take out of second grade is that there was this contest, who could sell the most candy. And if you sold the most candy in the school, now this is elementary, this was 1st through 6th grade. I'm in 2nd grade, and they would win I'm dating myself, a 19-inch black and white TV. Yeah. And I wanted that TV for my bedroom. And so I went out and I sold the most candy. I won that TV, which tells me if I put my mind to anything, I can win it. Like learning how to read and selling candy. Yeah. And I still work in television today, so I really love television.
Wow, that's so tell us a little bit about your experience in the industry, and then moving into where you started, or you began to even think about the idea of starting an academy. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I think I mentioned earlier in the interview that, I worked in entertainment industry. I started as an actor. Acting was always something that kept me grounded, even second grade and all the way through high school. I was doing plays. I was involved. I was a dancer, really. That was my main kind of thing, as I, not knowing, everyone wants to be a famous actor, right? But I was a dancer, and I did a lot of dancing. I was always in the school plays, and somehow I'm a Midwestern girl. My parents had relocated to California, so I came with them, and now all of a sudden my little Hollywood dreams became a little bit more real. And so I fully believe in education. I went to junior college, still studying acting, and then I went on to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. And then I blew my knee out, and I had to kind of pivot a little bit from dancing, and that kind of went by the wayside. And then I ended up doing a lot more acting, but as a unemployed actor or a starving artist, so to speak. I found my way behind the scenes, and that's when I started writing. And that changed my world because I sold a screenplay, and and that was like an awakening for me, because Showtime bought my screenplay, and I wanted to go as the supervising producer with the screenplay. And I only had an AA degree at that time, and they said, no, we don't hire anyone without a bachelor's degree here.
Oh my God.
So I went, okay, I'm never going to hear that again. So that's when I went back and got my degree from Cal State Northridge. And I came out of Cal State Northridge, went to work on shows like General Hospital and Friends and Veronica's Closet. And I built the high def control room at Staples Center, and I did HBO concerts, and I worked with Barbara Streisand and Oscar de la Hoya. I did a lot of things at a Staples Center, whether it be sports or music, and I did the Democratic National Convention. And from there, that's when I started learning how, as I say, pack my own parachute. I decided that I was going to leave a little bit of the Hollywood, and I went and I worked in corporate video for a year. I got pulled back into some reality television, but my husband and I decided, he's a professional actor. What if we started our own production company? So we had a child at that time, and he was 3, and I'd come home one night really late and missed dinner and bedtime and bath time and all of those things. And that's when we decided it's time to sell our house, quit our jobs, and do our own thing. So we packed our own parachute, we jumped, we started our production companies. That's the first thing that I founded was the production company, which is
where were you guys living? Where were you guys living at the time?
We left LA and we came down here to North County, San Diego first. And we were in North County, San Diego. And then we were there for 5 years, starting the production company. And then we came up here to Temecula. And
what made you move?
We bought a house was really what it was, because we sold our house in LA to build our business. We used all the money that we sold our house to start to build our business.
Entrepreneur risk. I love it.
And then we, in 5 years, things were a little tough. And so we moved from San Diego to Riverside County. And that was right when all the housing, it was 2008 and things were going down. And
so y'all bought it at the bottom of the market, huh?
So I came at the bottom of the market. We bought a house in Temecula, and we continued to grow our business. We launched the actor studio side of our business. And then 8 years ago, we launched a nonprofit and started a nonprofit because it was a way to give back, a way to do more, a way to be inclusive to the community as well as other industry professionals. And, it takes me back to, that entrepreneurial spirit's been with me since, way back when. And that was how I wrote my screenplay, was I decided that I was going to get all my unemployed actor friends together, and we were going to do theater in Hollywood. And so I was going to put them all on stage, including myself, was the plan. And by play 2, I was busy producing, and I wrote a show for the children's theater that we were running. And I went, I like this writing thing. And then I went, I'll just do the behind the scenes. You guys continue to act. I was running this little theater company, but then I started writing my screenplay. And that's when everything shifted. And I'm like, I don't want to be an actor anymore. But somehow now, guess what? I found my way back to
back
stage.
To acting.
Here I am with you, right on camera.
Yes, right on cue. This is great. I love this. I love your story. I mean, I know so many people are going to love this. And right here in our backyard, we have what you guys are doing. We love that. The Inland Empire startup ecosystem industry is tremendously fragmented. A few top-tier hubs, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and San Diego, are well covered by media, events, and data platforms. Finding reliable information relevant to startups or the tech industry in the Inland Empire is extremely difficult. As a result, startups can't scale fast enough. Investors are having a hard time finding the right deals, and corporates can't find the right companies to partner with for their innovation activities. Startempire Wire, the leading Inland Empire startup publication, is providing the Inland Empire startup ecosystem with the most accurate, engaging business and financial data, events, and news. Our reach of entrepreneurs, C-level executives, angels, VC investors, startup employees, key management at innovative corporates, and big tech is the solution for your B2B or B2C needs. As we build out our platform, we're looking for partners. This is your opportunity to get in on the ground level. If you're looking to align yourself with the local and growing startup and tech ecosystem of the Inland Empire, we have created the platform to get your name noticed and the opportunity for you to grow the recognition of your brand. Contact us today for availability and pricing options. We look forward to our partnership with you. So let's get in depth and let's talk a little bit about what your startup and the Creative Academy is meaning, because you say you have the production company. What are the other ones again?
So we have JDS Video and Media Productions, which is our for-profit first company. And then we have JDS Actor Studio, which really is a DBA of the video production company, if you want to get into entity kind of structures. And then the Creative Academy is a 501c3 nonprofit. Okay, so you guys are very active. I've seen, you really active with like the Chamber in Temecula and several other places. I think there's like the economic development for Southwest Riverside. You guys are part of that. So let's talk about workforce development for Riverside County. Which one? Workforce development for Riverside. Workforce development for Riverside County. So you guys are really active, and I love that. So tell us about the needs. Let's go in depth to the needs that you guys are meeting and developing the workforce. Tell us a little bit more about that. And is there anyone else in this region who are doing what you're doing? Well, I'm a true believer that if you're going to become a part of an organization, you need to be involved and active in that. So I don't just join an organization so I can hang a bunch of plaques on the wall and say, we're a member of this and we're a member of that. I get involved. And that's really how I built all of our business, because I'm also a believer in relationships. So that's what the chamber, the Temecula Chamber, is a phenomenal chamber. It's one of the largest chambers, I think, in Riverside County, as far as how many members it has in relationship to the size of the city. So it's just fantastic. It's a great business community. We've got great corporate citizens that are here. So everybody's super supportive. So I'm very active in the chamber. I was an ambassador at one time. I am still a member of the Women in Business Committee. I've gone from being chair to co-chair to just a committee member to staying involved. I've been on that committee for 10 years just to be a presence and be a part of. And the economic development for Southwest Riverside County now, that is a true passion. I truly believe, especially I work in a creative industry, so I believe that you have to bring the economics to it. And so I got involved even when we were in North County, San Diego. I got involved in North County, San Diego economic development. I sat on the board. And then I knew when we relocated from North County, San Diego up to Riverside County, I needed to get involved in economic development. That's how we built our business there. That's because I work as a video producer. I work much more business to business. Our clients are Abbott Labs, the school district, the cities, I'm not out there. I mean, sure, small business, sure, I've done everything from small to large business, but I'm not a wedding videographer. Don't call me on Saturday to do your video.
Right.
So I'm not, I'm not in the consumer end of video production. I'm much more in the corporate advertising marketing space.
Yes.
And so when we came up here, I knew I needed to jump right into economic development. And that started to open my doors really into workforce development, was economic development. And I got involved in Riverside County workforce development. And that, I have to say, changed everything. I had already launched the nonprofit, but we were a very, very small nonprofit, just doing some extracurricular classes, barely holding the glue together as far as, I got 3 students. Can we even afford to teach this class kind of thing? To getting involved in workforce development, started opening up new pathways to find out how the economics really do flow through. And if you're working, and that's where I then wrote the curriculum to be able to work with adults with developmental disabilities to show them a pathway to work. And now we've got all different kinds of curriculum, from a state approved apprenticeship where we work with the higher education in the mainstream. We have a Title 17 program, which works with the adults with developmental disabilities, teaching them production. We have a K through 12, which meets all the visual performing arts in the K through 12. And then we have the extracurricular classes as well.
Oh, now. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, so is there anybody else who's doing anything like this in the Inland Empire?
Well, if they are, they're copycatting me. I was the first. There are some things that have now started to happen because we've kind of started to carve this pathway. I don't know that anybody's doing it exactly the way that we're doing it. Right. But I truly believe that there's enough room for everyone in there. There's only more people that can be helped, and there's enough business to go around. There is. Merrier. Yeah, there are some other programs that have started up, especially in the adults with developmental disability space, because we can't service them all. We in that sense that it's a longer program. We're only vendored for 30 at a time, so there's much more need out there. So, but our program is still very unique in the fact of the way we cross collaborate mainstream. Special needs, and the fact that we have high level broadcasted TV shows and radio shows.
What does that mean?
So we have a TV show called Spirit of Innovation, which is news and information for Riverside County, which
I've seen it.
Riverside County is a media desert, because unless you're watching ABC or NBC or CBS and there's death or devastation, they're not talking about Riverside County, they're talking about LA County. They don't come out here much unless they're talking about the bad news. So
we need to talk more about the media desert thing in a future conversation, but
absolutely. Yeah, so we are answering that because our 30-minute show is news and information that is more like a 60 minutes kind of magazine style show. And so we're doing 2 to 4 minute segments on, the impacts of this and that. We spotlight nonprofits and other businesses that are doing good things in the area. We bring in community events, and so that is a mainstream. It is broadcasted all throughout Riverside County on Rivco TV, Temecula TV, and Marietta TV, and then all throughout the internet, as well as then we have a radio news update that's on 102.5 The Vine, which is out here in Southwest Riverside County. So 7 days a week. Our participants in our program, we help and guide them through it, but they write it, they record it, and then it gets put out on the radio for everyone in Riverside County. It's broadcasted. Same with the television show. The big show that we do is like a 30-minute more magazine style. They do a micro version of that, which is 10 minutes, which is more weather, road conditions and some community and sports events that are going on in the area. And that's broadcasted as well on Rivco and Marietta and Temecula and on the internet. So at that level, nobody else is doing
Nobody's doing that. Yeah.
You know, there's a couple organizations, it's like, you want to make your YouTube video, sure.
Yeah.
Or, you know, maybe doing some acting classes or something like that. But we're launching careers. We've got websites to where you can hire our actors. We bring in agents from LA, so mainstream and special need can meet agents.
Wow. I love it. I love it. Yeah, you guys are doing it, doing a whole lot. And I saw you did DigiFest recently. What is DigiFest? Tell us about DigiFest.
DigiFest is where we just finished our 6th year, and it's a festival and competition and conference is really what it is. It's a 3-day festival. So it's a competition you can enter anything digital, from film, video, podcast. You got to enter your podcast.
I got to enter my podcast.
There you go. Music, graphic arts, anything in the graphic digital world, photography, anything that gets enhanced digitally in some way is part of DigiFest. And then that you can enter into the competition and win awards. I happen to have one actually on my desk at the moment. I could even show you. Somebody hasn't picked it up yet, but this is what a Digi actually, it's in a bag. Look at that. I'm not even prepared. I'm showing you this.
That's beautiful.
What a Digi looks like.
That's beautiful.
So that's really cool. Yeah. So you can win an award, and then we bring in a little taste of Hollywood. And so we bring in guest speakers and industry professionals, and all of those, from animation to music. There's entertainment going on. We bring in high-level speakers from actors and Emmy award-winning voice actors and big-time directors. And we have 3 days of speakers and workshops. We do screenings, and then we do the awards banquet.
You mean this is not in LA somewhere? This is not out in Hollywood? This is here?
This is right here in Temecula, Riverside County.
Man. I love it. I really hope people who are watching this, you guys check out everything that's going on here. This is the reason why we do this. So I love it. Tell us a little bit more about the current stage, you know, where you guys are, and in the process of JD Creative Academy, and what are some of the current needs? You know, what are some of those things that are people you're speaking to try to make different connections? What do you like? How are you facilitating growth?
Well, you know, we are always going through some sort of growing pain. You know, sometimes that's in the staffing, trying to scale up a little bit to handle more. So, you know, I'm always collecting really good resumes, because I like to have people in my back pocket. So, and help those that are trying to, you know, work in this industry. If I can provide a pathway or hope, which is again helping one person every day, then I would love to do that. What the organization needs, always good businesses who are willing to be inclusive and diverse, and understand that just because they might lack in a little social skills and can't bring the energy and dynamics that you and I are bringing right now, doesn't mean they don't have passion, and does not mean they don't have skill and talent. And if I can help you bridge that gap way as a business owner to work with more people who might have to have an accommodation met or two, and once you understand what that accommodation is, you're like, oh, that's it. I got employees that make me accommodate for a whole lot more. They're mainstream, you know, with how they feel. And then, of course, corporate sponsorship and donations. We are a nonprofit. We give over $15,000 a year away in scholarships, whether that be to high school students pursuing higher education in the arts, whether that be just to give scholarships so we can so actors can come in and take classes from musical theater to acting to fashion design to script writing, because they have a passion in the arts and their parents are like, yeah, we're not going to buy that or pay for that. They don't even have to, the family doesn't have to be totally financially constrained. Just tell me why you would be a good candidate for a scholarship. And we want you to take the arts class because you're going to learn self-confidence and leadership, and you're going to have public speaking skills, and you're going to learn collaboration and teamwork. And those are as important as ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, because that's what they should be teaching in school. That's how to network, how to talk to people, how to communicate, because that art is, I hope not dying, but is taking a hiatus somewhere.
No, I mean, I graduated as an art student, visual communications. And so, my primary thing is graphic design. But one of the things that I didn't learn until later is that something that I should have been doing the entire time while I was in college was networking, building a network, and if there were only two things that I think I could present, after I got out of college was, two things that I could have done better is, always have a portfolio, really good portfolio, and always be developing a bigger network, so it's so good.
It is. And those are skills that, we teach here. We teach here the technical skills. You need to learn Adobe Photoshop and Premiere. We can teach you that.
Really?
And you want to learn how to work with, individuals and be more understanding and caring. You're learning that at the same time you're learning, what Shift Control C means too.
Yeah.
So
Yes. That is awesome. So now we're to the part of the interview where we're going to talk about some of your immediate short-term goals. Let's just say, what are two of your immediate short-term goals? Then we'll talk about the long-term goals.
Okay. Well, I probably
only for JDS Creative Academy. Yeah.
Only 2 goals. Wow. I probably have a 100 list of goals. But goals for the nonprofit, we are launching a new program. It's Arts Across California that will grow into Arts Across America.
Yeah.
And it's so we can start licensing the curriculum that we've already created to go into other schools, create other creative academies in other areas so they can take what we've done here and create that in their community. And whether that be for mainstream, special needs, K through 12, or extracurricular, we can help provide you with a program from a 6-week class to a semester class to an ongoing program, an 18-month program. So we're working on that. That's kind of some of the big goals that are ahead. We're in some of the pre-launch stage, we're connecting with some of the school districts and colleges that we want to work with. So that's all launching in January as far as our curriculums will be out there. So those are some, that's a pretty big goal.
That's a big goal.
So that's kind of, that's one. The other goal I would say is probably, it's a personal goal that is going to morph into more of a business goal, is I'm really moving more into, they always say you need to work on your business, not so much in your business.
Oh, yes.
Transitioning more to working on the business and stepping more and more further from in the business. And so I'm going to be doing a lot more speaking, a lot more podcasting, a lot more of these interviews, and putting myself out there to then keep driving more attention back to the nonprofit and what we do.
Very cool. So are you currently booked to speak anywhere anytime soon? Are you just open for being booked?
Well, I am definitely just open for opportunities at the moment. I have a few lined up here and there. I just spoke for my chamber a week ago. So I had an audience of about 60. Doing a presentation. I have a bigger one coming up in September. Going out to Utah to do some speaking on a pretty big stage. So that's exciting. And
you guys just did a book signing.
So I'm sorry, what?
Oh, I said, and you guys just did a book signing, right?
We just did our book signing. I was also just out in New York, and I spoke on a stage in Manhattan, and our book was on a couple of shelves out in New York in some industry related bookstores. So that was very exciting.
It's fun to see the hustle. I love it.
Yeah. My goal is coming true. It's still a goal to keep doing more and more and bigger stages, but
yes. The next question would be, where do you see yourself in JDS Creative Academy, if you want to include, because I know all of your businesses work together, in the next 3 years, the next 5 years, and the next 10 years?
Well, 10 years, I think I'm embarking on retirement. So I hope I have a really good team in place over the next 10 years that I feel comfortable handing off to.
Okay.
And that's what I'm starting to really think in that direction as we start to scale again and go through some more growing pains here in the next 3 to 5 years, I would think, is we start to really scale with this licensing and kind of franchising model. I think there's going to be a lot of growing and scaling in the 3 to 5, and then in the 5 to 10 is really figuring out where's the succession really
succession planning. Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's really awesome. And in regards to like influence locally, how are you trying to facilitate that within the next maybe 3 to 5 years? What are you planning on doing?
Well, I'm super excited. One big goal was met. I have always wanted to win business or nonprofit of the year through the chamber, and we were awarded that this year. So we are currently the nonprofit of the year for the Temecula Valley Chamber. So that's awesome. A big award. Thank you.
Yeah.
And so I hope to continue to impact along those same lines. I love being an executive board member for workforce development for Riverside County. Probably in the next couple of years, I'm going to get a little bit more in getting involved, maybe a little bit more statewide and federally wide to advocate for some of the resources for special needs and workforce development. So I'm probably going to go a little bit more in that direction as far as hopefully being able to impact more and being able to help more, launching more careers. That's the impact that I really want to make, or for people. I don't want them to have to think that just because they want to be creative in their career, that has to be their side hustle, or that has to be their, what's your fallback job?
No, absolutely. I think that, people always, kind of stigmatize the arts because they're not, how you going to make money? You pursuing a pipe dream. And I'm like, that's why I love what you guys are doing. And that's why when those second and third articles come out, we're really going to dig into some of this stuff. And so I really do appreciate you for coming on this interview, Diane. The final thing I want to ask you is, can you tell people where can they find you online and offline, like all of your locations?
All of my locations. The easiest way is go to any search field and type in #JDS family. If you type in #JDS family, you should be able to find JDS Video and Media Productions, JDS Actor Studio, and JDS Creative Academy. And then you can always make sure that you're looking for us on Spirit of Innovation, whether that be on TV or online. And then In April, which is Innovation Month for Riverside County, that's where you're going to find DigiFest. So be paying attention to DigiFest. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. And I think we just started a TikTok. I don't know. But so you can always find us there. So be sure that you're keeping up with it, because submissions are going to open early this year for DigiFest.
What time do they open? Yeah.
Submissions are going to open in late October this year. So we will open submissions, and they will close by the end of February. Okay. So that's your submission period then it goes into judging and all of the things for the awards. So, keep your eyes peeled for that. We're already even teasing people with it. And so we're super excited as we go into year 7 with that. We have a haunted studio. So if you live in Riverside County in October 28th and 29th, you got to come to my studio and we'll give you thrills and chills.
We're gonna have to come. We're gonna do some video or something, man.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah, so we have a haunted studio. It's a fundraiser for us, and it's also a class. I mean, that's how we make it roll around here. Right now, we're in the middle of summer camp. You want acting classes, fashion design, musical theater, script writing classes. You want to be a screenplay writer like me? Come take a script writing class. Wow. I don't teach it. Actually, I have a head writer who she's worked on HGTV and written for Food Network and written for ABC and all different kinds of things. I got all industry professionals. So if you're local, just come visit us at some point and hashtag JDS Family on any platform, and we should come up.
This is so awesome. Thank you so much, Diane. I'm glad that I can get you on the podcast, because you guys, what you're doing is a hidden gem for the arts and the creative economy here in the Inland Empire. A lot of people love to say, oh, the Inland Empire don't have anything. Look at here. We got a lot of stuff. Yes. So thank you for coming on the interview. I look forward to working with you more in the future. And ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go type hashtag JDS Family on any platform. Look up the Creative Academy, watch the Spirit of Innovation. If you're an artist, enter the DigiFest, all of this great stuff going on. Come to the Haunted House in October. Oh man, there's so much here. I love it. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into the Founders Podcast. This was a great one. And we look forward to you tuning in to the next one. Once again, peace. Have a great day.
Peace.